Good afternoon, everybody. Heidi Foy with Bullfrog Creatives. Hey, I'm super excited about our special guest today. It's weird because I've known Chancey for a really long time, longer than I think both of us would like to agree that, like, clearly we're not that old. So
That's
I
true.
think
We're not.
we're both on the same page there. Through high school rodeo, through college rodeo, and then, of course, everything after that, which I believe is probably where the magic happens for you, Chancey. So Chancey, for those of you guys that don't know, Chancey did college rodeo, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. He was a saddle bronc rider and then some, but also is kind of is the member of a band, which I'm going to say, like, y'all better know about this band because you're missing out if you don't. And if you don't, here's your chance. You can go now and get all the things. Chancey Williams and the Younger Brothers Band. Like I said, super excited to have you on here. So let's talk.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is a really good opportunity for me to bullshit with all the people, which, like, who doesn't want to do that right now?
Right.
So let's talk a little bit. Chancey, talk to me about college rodeo. Where did you college rodeo? What was that experience like for you? And then talk to me about the kind of the division and the decision, the choice that you had to make between music and rodeo.
Yeah, well, I went to Casper College first, rodeo, right out of high school, and got the rodeo for Tom Parker at Casper College, which was awesome. And I went there to actually ride saddle broncs, team rope, and calf rope. And I did that all 3 years at Casper, but my main event was riding saddle broncs, so I just kind of stopped roping after a while just because I was pretty much donating every weekend. But yeah, so I went to Casper College, rode broncs, and really enjoyed that. And then my junior year there, my third year at Casper College, made the CNFR, and that was fun. Being from Casper College and making it in Casper, that was neat. And then came on to UW, the University of Wyoming, to finish my degree and to finish college rodeo, and rodeo for UW my senior year and made the CNFR that year too. So yeah, college rodeo was a blast. I had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it's not like, I think a lot of people would assume that maybe rodeo wasn't your thing and you weren't good at it. And so that's why you went to music. And clearly that's not the case.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I was there for a while, college rodeoing, and I always had the band. We had that through college, and we started it late in high school and just kind of for fun. But my main thing was always riding broncs and rodeo, and like I just assumed I'd do that forever when I loved it. And so the further I got playing music and rodeo, and it kind of evened out where I was doing both about the same amount of time. And then I was also picking up too. I was at Casper College. I picked up at all practices, and then started picking up some rodeos and stuff, which I enjoyed that too. But I was kind of doing too many things, kind of half-assed. So I thought I better pick one that I might want to make a career out of. So I chose music. And that was hard, man. I mean, even to this day, it's hard to, I still want to get on, but I'm getting to that age where I probably shouldn't get on anymore. But
you don't have quite good enough insurance, I would guess.
Right. It's one of those things I think all rodeo cowboys and cowgirls will tell you, people that have rodeoed, that it's in your system forever. Like you never quite get over it. Whether, no matter what level you did it on, it's just, so, I mean, I'm glad I chose music because there's a lot bigger future, I guess, for music. I can sing a lot longer than I was been able to ride broncs, but it's tough, man. I got friends that are still going, like Chet. We were rodeoed all through high school and college, and Chet's still going and successful at it, which makes you think, like, man, if I could have done harder, would I still be going? Like, I don't know, probably not. Chet's great, but yeah, it's something I always think about. But I'm glad I chose music. I can do it. I can sing till I'm dead, I think so.
Yeah. So I would say that no matter whether you went right or left with that decision, neither one of those were easy choices. Like this was not the easy path, and rodeo was not the easy path either. So, I think coming from, I made a decision fairly early on in my life that, like, singing probably wasn't going to work out for me.
Yeah, right.
I loved it.
Sing the national anthem at CNFR and state wrestling. You sing your ass off.
I did. And I'm not sure, at some point, like, you have to make that decision, and it has to be realistic for you. And for me, I made it pretty early, like, man, I'm not cut out for that. And this is I'm a very square person. I'm learning. I didn't realize this. Um, I'm also very safe. And so I took the safe route. But talk to me about like some of the struggles that y'all went through. I mean, I feel like you've hit it, like you've made it, you're doing so many great things, you're writing music still. And maybe you don't feel like you're there yet, but kind of talk to us a little bit about some of the struggles that you've been through.
Well, the music business is tough, like anything, and it's taken us a long time to get where we're at, but where we are now, but we've kind of had to earn it ourselves the whole way. We didn't have anybody help us. We didn't really have anything handed to us. We didn't know anything about music. We didn't know anything about playing or booking shows or music business. We just kind of had to learn all that on our own, which is nice and rewarding. In the end, we'll be able to say that we did it on our own. But I chose a career that I knew the least amount about. I know a lot more about ranching and rodeoing, and I have a master's degree. I mean, I could have chose anything else that had been a little easier. I chose the one thing that like was the hardest for me, and but something I really wanted to do. So we all had to just kind of learn from scratch. That the band and I have scratched it out the hard way, but it's rewarding because in the end, artists that have it give to them real fast, and things happen real fast for them. They usually don't last that long anyway. So we've built this foundation of fans over the span of these years we've been playing that will be with us for a long time. Every time we put out an album, our fans buy it and it charts on iTunes, and and that just keeps growing. Our shows keep growing. But yeah, it definitely has been easy. We've played every small thing and wedding and everything around the state for years, and we don't have to anymore, but we've kind of earned our right to pick and choose the things we get to play. And last year we got to sign with WME, which is a booking agent out of Nashville. They're the biggest booking agent in the world, and that was a big step for us to get with them. And this year was going to be a real good year for us, but
Yeah.
we signed with them just about a year ago now, and but we're still with them. And through the coronavirus, they cut a lot of agents and a lot of artists, and they kept us. So we're excited for the future with them.
So let's talk about this year a little bit for you guys. You just mentioned you had just signed with this new booking agent. 2020 was going to be like super busy, magical year. I'm sure y'all thought this was going to be it. So what ended up happening? I mean, I know you guys did something local, well, something statewide here in Wyoming. When the governor announced like you couldn't have any groups over 250, y'all announced the 250 tour. Talk to me a little bit about how that went.
Yeah, I mean, the summer, like last year at this time, the summer was looking awesome. We had a handful of dates with Toby Keith. We had one date with Gary Allen. We had a lot of good support dates, all across the country. We had some California dates. It was looking really good. And then when the coronavirus hit, we were actually in Houston on March 13th when it hit. And we're like, all right, this last show for a few weeks, we think.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple months to max. And then who knew it would be, this thing could potentially last a year. So it was a little bit of a letdown. I mean, what's nice about all those dates we had last summer, they're rolling a lot of them over to next summer, hopefully, if things get open. But yeah, when the governor said we could have groups of 250 people together, we wanted to abide by the rules and do it safe and right. And so everything we had got canceled. So we just went through and we called a bunch of towns that we'd played back in the day, like played Lust and we played Thermop and Buffalo and all these towns that we kind of grew up playing. We said, let's just see if we can have concerts in all these towns with 250 people, socially distanced. We're just gonna have to charge a little bit more to make it pencil out, but all of them sold out, and it was kind of fun. Certain counties would let us have a few more. Some were 500, some were 750. It just depended on where it was and how much space we had. But it ended up being really fun. We played every weekend of the summer, which we're very fortunate because of where we live in the great state of Wyoming. We were able to do some stuff versus some of our friends like in Tennessee and Texas and stuff. They haven't played since March. It's pretty sad.
Well, I mean, and let's be honest, y'all are up there entertaining because you enjoy it, but it's also a career. Like it is your job.
Right.
So,
and that's the thing. Yeah. Like we, I was telling somebody last week in Nashville, like a lot of artists, say in Texas or Tennessee, have fired their whole band because they can't pay them. But, you know, us being able to play the summer has made it work because where we live in the state of Wyoming, we don't, it doesn't really work to let our guys go. We're a family and we've kind of built
Right.
this thing together. And it's like, you know, there's tons of players in Texas, so it's easy for somebody to let somebody go and get somebody new tomorrow. That's not really the way it works in Wyoming. You know, there's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of, you know, musicians the caliber that we need in this band. So like, I got to keep the people I got and their family. So we had to make it work somehow. And that 250 tour, you know, got us by, which was awesome.
So, like you talk about, like, there's not a lot of choices as far as musicians, but, you know, let's be honest, y'all have been together and been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, we have,
So
you know, the group.
you don't, you
Yeah.
don't have a choice.
No. I mean, and that's what we're different than a lot of touring acts. You know, a lot of times it's just hired guns up there that are great musicians, and but you might not know their name that week. You might just have a sub or something. But like, we're different. We're definitely a group band that we have built the thing together, and you know, we're a family, and then people know that and can see that chemistry on stage that we're more than just players.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me about the members of the band.
Well, Travis DeWitt, the drummer, we, you know, started the band in high school, just kind of for fun, and went to college together. Just, you know, the reason it seems like we've been out a long time is because, like, you know, the first, I would say almost 10 years we had the band, it was just kind of just for fun. You know, I was college rodeoing and, you know, going to some pro rodeos and picking up. So it was always kind of, you know, third on the list. It was just something to do when we had a weekend off, make some college money. And then, but after that, you know, I moved to Tennessee to finish my degree, to do an internship to finish my degree after college. And that's kind of when I was like, well, maybe this could be like a full-time career where we all quit our jobs and make this the only source of income and what we want to do for the future. So like, so Trav and I started the band that long ago, but you know, a lot of those years were just for fun. And then when I got back from Nashville, when I went down there for my internship, Wyatt Springsteen and Brooke joined us the same year. And so they've been in the same amount of time. And that's been a long time ago. And then over the years, we've you know, we've switched bass players a few times, but we found the guy that we hope is going to fit forever. And he's awesome. His name is Jason Downing. He lives down in Loveland, Colorado. And then just this last year, we hired a kid out of Texas that plays guitar and steel guitar and banjo. And his name is Brett Hendricks, and he's from Waco, but he lives in Colorado now too. And so the six of us is a pretty good setup right now. It's the best band we've ever had, and everybody's playing good. Yeah, but it's a family deal.
Yeah, for sure. I think they would
yeah,
take
yeah, Brooke and Wyatt. Yeah, I was like, I hope I didn't forget Brooke. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
They'll let you know if you did. You know it.
Yeah, I got to quit hiring people because I can't remember who's all in the band.
Too many people. Well, and speaking of that, I mean, the one thing that I really enjoy, I've clearly been a fan. Well, I mean, I've been a fan, but also a friend for so long. I've kind of followed you guys around. But whenever I see you out and about, it's nice to be able to have a friend conversation, and you're like, you're not way up there just yet. Like,
Right.
You'll still give me the time of day, which is always nice. But it's
Well,
also good
hope to
too.
never do that.
Yes. Yes, I would agree. Like the people that help you, like your crew, not just your musical crew, but your setup crew and your driving crew. Like, I know them. And so it's always fun to see everybody, you know, driving around. I see, I don't know, it's
I should give those
fun
guys
that
a
it's the
shout too, yeah.
hometown feel.
Yeah, not only the band members. So there's 10 of us on the road, and I always like to tell everybody about our crew too. You know, Rob Wiley, our buddy runs lights for us. We've been friends for a long time. And Ray Tom Myers, he's from Casper. He's our tour manager and does an awesome job for us. Then Andy Hamby is our bus driver. He's from Saratoga too. He's been with us 3 or 4 years now. And then Mike Peterson is our, you know, production manager and sound guy, and he's from Casper too. So yeah, there's actually, we call everybody band members. There's 10 of us total, but 6 on stage and 4 behind the scenes, and those guys do most of the work anyway.
So it's fun to kind of see the progression of where y'all have been based on the vehicles that you now drive.
Yeah.
From the van, which I think was like the original vehicle.
Oh yeah.
And then
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ford pickup with the enclosed trailer. And now y'all have a tour bus, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, we keep upgrading. We like I said, the more people we hire, we run out of room. But yeah, we went for years in that van. I bought that van to rodeo out of it. It was a great van. I still have it. It's parked outside here, and we we put a lot of miles on that thing. And I think we put 2 motors in it, a transmission. But then we would go in the pickup and trailer and the van, and then after a while, we was like, we were starting to travel so far. Like we were doing a lot of dates, out west Nevada, California, and even down in Texas, and we go east. So it was hard to make all those dates work where you're driving. And even if people are just, riding in the van, you don't really get that much sleep. So we went ahead and made the move and bought a bus, and it's changed the way we tour, and it's changed everything. I mean, it's changed our perception. It's just, I understand now why those big artists have them. I mean, it's the only way to do it.
Well, and y'all can travel together and you still have that sense of camaraderie when you're on the road like that too.
Yeah, for sure. It's really made it nice, like having Andy, our driver, because like after a show, he'll sleep all day, and after the show, he'll show up and drive us all night, and we'll get home. So we'll be home early the next day. For the guys with families, it's you get an extra day at home, and it's just it's really changed the game for us having the bus. We love it.
Very cool. I think the first time we saw it was David Street Station when
Oh
y'all
yeah,
played was it for the Eclipse?
yeah,
Was it
yeah.
the Eclipse or
I
was
think it
it
was we played there twice. Yeah, I think it was for the Eclipse. That was fun.
and when they kind of rolled out the stage? So that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, so talk to me. I know y'all started early on doing a lot of covers.
yeah.
What is your favorite cover to play still to this day?
Dan, I don't know. We don't do many anymore. Trying to think of probably Amarillo by Morning. We don't play it anymore, but that was always one of my favorite ones to do, just because it's a great fiddle song. It's a cowboy song. But yeah, I mean, we were a cover band for a lot of years, and that's kind of, a lot of people could like that or don't like it, or some artists might cuss
Mhm.
that, but those were some fun years, and it got us to where we are today. I mean, that got our name out there, and we got a name for ourselves playing rodeo dances and all sorts of stuff. But then, we kind of made the transition. We decided we didn't want to be a cover band forever, or if we were going to do that, we would just do it as a hobby and, play once in a while. But everybody
Mhm.
decided let's put out our own stuff. So, I started writing and putting albums out. Always trying to get to the next level with your own music. And yeah, it was a hard transition because a lot of people were booking us for street dances for 4 hours, and and like we got the point where like, hey, we play 90 minutes, mostly our own stuff. There's a couple covers in there, but
Yeah.
it was almost like ripping the band-aid off. We were so used to it's almost self-rewarding playing a cover song that everybody cheers to and dances to and whatever, but like you kind of have to just make the move as an artist on what you want to do. And so let's just write good songs. If people like them, they like them. If not, this is what we're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was a pretty interesting conversation too. Because when you were all playing covers, like you said, like it was just a hobby. You're just doing this for fun on the side, kind of third
Right.
string, something else to do. And so making that
Right.
move probably was big. Had you written music before? Like when you were singing covers and stuff, had you written music before, or was that also kind of a new path?
It was a new path. I never wrote much growing up, and I mean, anybody can write. It's hard to learn how to write good and
Mhm.
then learn how to write great songs. I mean, and so like it was hard to learn how to write. So like that's why I go to Nashville a lot. My producer Trent is a great writer. And so I write with him a lot, and I've learned a lot from writing with him and my friend Jody Stevens, who wrote quite a few together. Just sitting and being able to write with those guys that have wrote for a long time and that are like, they're just good at it. I don't know if they
Mhm.
learned to be good at it or they're just naturally good at it, but it was definitely something that was not natural for me. It's, trying to put down on paper what you mean to say and phrase it the right way that sounds good in a song is hard for me.
Mhm.
Some people it ain't, but yeah, I wish I'd have started writing a lot younger than I did, but just started making those trips to be around people that write a lot when I was younger, but I didn't. So, but now like we recorded 7 songs last week in Nashville, and I was a writer on all 7. So like it's getting to where like the majority of the stuff we're cutting is stuff I wrote or wrote with somebody on. And that's rewarding too, just to know like, man, because like as an artist that's not signed in Nashville, trying to get songs pitched to you that are good is almost impossible because they're pitching all the good stuff to the big guys, obviously, because they want them on the radio and that's how they make money. So like if you're nobody or bottom of the list like we were when we started, we weren't getting very good songs pitched to us. So I figured out that like to get the stuff you want, we got to write it. That way you can have it the way you want it.
Well, and I'm sure it's a whole different ballgame when you're standing up there singing something that you wrote and it takes off, or and the crowd is singing with you. I mean, it probably is completely different than singing somebody else's deal.
Yeah, it for sure is. I mean, it's super rewarding, right? And one that the people that, you know, I know it sounds cliche, everybody says it, but it's really neat to see people singing songs you've wrote. You're like, wow, I liked it because that's why I wrote it, but I didn't know if anybody else would.
Right, right. So I guess, sounds like the kids are coming in. Yeah, you never know around here.
Right.
So what is in your, I guess what's in your future? Just keep on doing what you're doing?
Yeah, our goals have always been, I mean, a lot of people say, to get a record deal or whatever that, but like, it's more business to us than that. I mean, we're making a career out of it and making money the way we're doing it. We just want to build that. We want to broaden our geography across the United States and have big fan bases in lots of different towns all across the United States, and we were doing that before the coronavirus. And I think it's still working, but slowly broaden that geography, get our map bigger and be able to tour as much as possible. And then, maybe down the road, there's opportunity for some, a record label. The only thing they could do for us right now is get us national radio play, which is game changing for artists too. But
it's kind of changed now. I mean,
yeah,
national radio play isn't the same now as it was before when you have Spotify and Amazon and iTunes. And
it's true. It's tough. I mean, but radio's kind of still where it's at. I mean, if you're getting that national radio, it does help your career, but it's hard. National radio is tough. I mean, like Cody Johnson's had a couple singles out, and Cody's awesome, but it's tough to compete with those big labels pushing those singles up the charts. But I mean, we would maybe look at a deal with somebody if it was the right deal, and they could guarantee us, somewhere in the top 20 song here and there, because that would really be good for us. But we never know. We just right now is just to keep touring as much as possible, because that's where artists nowadays make all their money, is touring, and keep climbing up. We always want we don't ever want to plateau. We always want to keep getting better and write better songs and get the stuff out there.
So this is probably going to be a really hard question too. And okay. I don't mean for it to be, but it's probably like picking your favorite kid. You can't. I mean, you might inside, but you can't tell anybody that. So of the songs that you have written, like what's your favorite right now today?
I know that's hard. I still think always my favorite's Rodeo Cold Beer. We wrote that one. It was just, it's our like number one stream song. And I think the fans like the most, and it's personal. It talks about rodeo, talks about Moorcroft in there and my folks. And like, that was just a fun one. It came out the way exactly how we intended to write it. So like that one's fun, but I like all the rodeo songs we have out. And, all of our friends are rodeo people or ranching people. So those fit everybody, but this new batch of songs they're good too. They're, maybe lean a bit more toward like less rodeo, but still cowboy stuff. But like, maybe some more love type songs that the girls like and the guys can relate to. So like, trying to broaden the audience, but we'll always put rodeo songs on the albums and cowboy stuff. That's what we are.
So, oh my gosh, I just totally spaced it. That's what happens when you get old. Forget what you're talking about. I guess when you start writing, one of the things that I like about a lot of the songs that you're putting out now is that it's almost like the old school songs where it's not just a song, but it's a story.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Some are story songs, and those are fun to write. We just we cut a couple story songs this week. I'm excited to get out. I don't know when we'll get them out, but yeah, the story songs are fun if you can write them right. You know,
Right.
sometimes they're trickier. I mean, because you know the story, but like I said, trying to phrase it and get down on paper the
Trying to
way
get
it
there
should
to
sound
there.
right is hard. But
Yeah, for sure. So we do have a couple of comments. Cameron Williams says, keep up the great work. And Kim
thanks.
Furnival, the world needs more cowboys. That must be one of her favorites. So,
Oh yeah, that was a fun one too. Yeah.
and it came out like perfectly.
Well, we wrote that because the University of Wyoming, put that ad campaign out, and I was like, man, that needs a song. So I called Trent.
Yes.
I said, hey, we should write this before somebody else does. And so I flew down there and we wrote it. Because it had so much controversy, people complaining that it was, sexist and racist and whatever, which is not what it means. We tried to write it that way. I mean, there's lines in there that talks about cowgirls and talks
Mhm.
about people can be cowboys from any race, anywhere. I mean, and I tell people that on stage, it's not the literal term of just being a cowboy.
Cowboy.
It's the idea of the cowboys put off that they're hardworking people and they're honest people. It's like in that way of thinking of the world needs more of those type people, which we call cowboys, that are hardworking, honest people.
Yeah, for sure. So, I probably should have warned you that I was going to do this, but I don't suppose you have your guitar right there.
I don't.
Chancey.
They're all. I should have grabbed. They're all in the trailer. We played last week in Sioux Falls, and I left them all in there. But next time.
Next time we're gonna have to do a duo, not a duo, a do-over. There'll be no
Hey,
duos.
we could do a duet if you want.
Listen, I think my days of duetting with anyone but my children are long gone.
All right.
I do see myself in my daughter because she sings everything, which
Nice.
I also did. Even when she's talking back, like she's usually doing it in show tune. So it's really hard to be mad at her when she's doing that.
Right. Right.
Clearly she learned something that I didn't in that regard.
Right.
Well, so we're coming up on 30 minutes. I guess just to kind of round us out here, because the goal of kind of the broadcast was originally to talk to younger kids that were potentially moving up in the college rodeo ranks. And so kind of along those lines, or just in general, I mean, do you have any kind of words of wisdom to pass along to our audience?
Yeah. Are you talking about kids that are already in college rodeo, or am I gonna maybe college
Maybe
rodeo?
gonna or are already, kind of both.
Well, I'll tell you what, for kids that like their high school rodeo, and college rodeo is a great avenue to go to college, because like college is super expensive. I mean, anybody knows if you're a ranch kid that grew up rodeoing, most ranchers don't have a lot of money. So it's sometimes it's hard to go to college if you're not a football player or run track. But college rodeo is a great avenue to get a degree. And I always tell kids, like, college rodeo is fun, but get a degree first, because I mean, that's something that nobody can take away from you. You could be injured and be done rodeoing forever tomorrow. But like, if your avenue to get to go to college is college rodeo, do that for sure. And then for the kids in college, I mean, I had a lot of friends growing up that were ineligible. I'm like, just go to class. You got to get good grades, because like, what's the point? I mean, college rodeo is fun, but if you're ineligible, you can't college rodeo. So I just think college rodeo is a great thing for kids to go to college, and it's a great learning experience if you want to pro rodeo in the future.
For sure. And I think the one thing that I really appreciate about your journey is that you, even when you made that decision to go to music, you still finished, you got your degree, you got your master's degree. And I mean, if something does happen, you always have that.
Right. And
They can't take that knowledge away from you.
right. And I hope I never have to use my degree, but it's always a nice fallback to know you got in your hip pocket. And it's super rewarding, having a college degree, because like, it's something you've earned on your own, and it's something nobody can take from you. So like, no matter what, I mean, and some kids don't want to do it. And I'm not saying everybody should go to college, and maybe they should, but I'm saying if they want to go to college rodeo is a great avenue to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Chancey, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure that you have so many other things on your plate. Ooh,
Well,
oh my gosh, before we sign off, I have to ask about the music video.
okay.
I'm super excited because I just talked to Flint Rasmussen the week before last, I think,
Oh yeah.
and talked to him about being in the video. How, like, have you done a lot of music videos, or is this kind of a new, are you
No,
guys going out on the edge here?
no, we've done quite a few over the years. You know, we got a bunch of them on YouTube and stuff. But this one we did for we recorded "Meet Me in Montana" on the new album. And so Brooke sings on it with me, which it turned out really awesome. So we're trying to find an idea to do a video for "Meet Me in Montana" because it's been streaming really well. And there's no Dan Seals and Maria Osmond. There was no music video ever for it, but there was a whole bunch of award shows where they sang at it. So what we did is we recreated an old award show from the 80s. And so it's like you're watching a award show, and so we sing it in there, and we all got to dress up from the era. And so Flint Rasmussen, we had come, he's the award show host, and he did a wonderful
Perfect.
job. Flint's great. He did it like one take.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like he probably did it in one take, and you don't have to worry about redos. He definitely probably speaks in sound bites. Like, he knows the game.
Flint is a professional for sure. It was fun. So like,
That's funny.
it's not quite out. They're still editing it. And so I think it's going to come out in the next few weeks. I think maybe our publicist might be going to give CMT first dibs at it. And, you know, sometimes they think about it, sometimes no. So either way, we'll have it out on some avenues somewhere.
Well, that's cool. Congratulations to you and your crew for all your success and your hard work. It's really, really awesome to see those things pay off. You know, especially for me, having kind of watched the progression of it and where y'all started and now where you are. So it's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No problem. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We did have a pretty good live watching crew today. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments. If you are watching the replay, post them in the comments, and I will get back around to them, and I will track Chancey down, and we'll get any questions answered for y'all. I have a visitor. So next week we will be visiting with a steer wrestler. I really have to expand my horizons here because I realize I have mostly talked to steer wrestlers. So, but we will be visiting with steer wrestler next week. Mr. Blake Knowles out of Oregon is going to be joining us, and we will see who's coming up on the next ones. Sorry, it's real distracting when they come upstairs. So thank you guys so much. Heidi Foy with Bullfrog Creative signing off. Y'all have a good week, and we will see you next week.